Hey friends, you're watching Questing Time. I'm Paul Foxcroft, and this is episode 16, part 1. After saving and admittedly decimating the town of Cascadia on the elemental plane of air, the party has instigated a sort of impromptu folk rock night in the dive bar in the town of Cascadia, where they've had a big night out, really. They've gotten hammered with a bunch of new friends, including two men called John, who are a direct reference to the best band in the world, They Might Be Giants. If you like this show and you haven't heard of They Might Be Giants, I think you'll like them. I'll put a link to some of their stuff in the description. They've also made friends with a bard by the name of Flynn O'Bannon, who has offered them a ride on his airship to help them get to the Gravy Storm, an enormous stationary storm that conceals the Palace of Gravy, where the evil Minotaur Lucifer Gravy is currently holding hostage a cloud giant called Halcyon Galeforce, who they need to free so they can get off the plane of air. That felt really convoluted saying it like that. Deal with it. I mean, that's pretty much all you need to know going into this episode. Here we go, episode 16. Have a good time. I'll see you at the back end. Bye-bye. The four of you wake up in one of the rooms at the dive bar, having probably drank quite a lot. In fact, Rufus, if I'm correct, I believe, according to my notes, the rough night was, and I believe this is a direct quote, drunker than any sentient being has ever been. After being magically trapped for 6 days in a bottle containing nothing but an ocean of booze.
Sometimes I envy make-believe me.
The technical term for that, classic AD&D, is that Rufus was technically mazed into a booze-centric demi-plane, but let's not get into the maths. You guys have the variously all wake up in various states of competency. I'll let you decide how hungover or not you are, or how purged from your system any of your anxieties are after a very liberating evening of rocking out with Flynn and two men called John.
Yeah, the men called John. That was a night.
Yes.
Hey. Is there anyone knocking around in the base in the actual bar part of the bar?
At the minute, no, there's no patrons, and the bar is technically closed. But I mean, you did blow off one of the walls, so it is open to the town square. But Zeph, the air elemental, is pottering around cleaning.
Is there any chance of something to eat?
The air elemental billows into the back. It's what you assume is the kitchen.
I also look around because my head is so hot with hangover.
Yeah.
That I want like air spirits just to try and blow the hangover through my nose and out of my ears. I'm basically standing with my head facing upwards, trying to point my nose in the direction of a stiff breeze.
Right. Breeze-wise, in here, or even outside in the square, there's not a lot going on, even though you're on the plane of air. It's relatively still.
I'm too hungover to know one way or the other.
Fair.
Just a dwarf covered in spikes, with his eyes closed, walking slowly in a circle.
Fair.
I think Claire's gonna kind of half dance down the steps because she's a lovely time.
Yeah.
And can we see Flynn?
No, there is no obvious sign of him.
Okay, then I'm going to chat to you, but the other guys are around in the same space.
Which other guys?
These guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, we should eat, and then Flynn is going to take us on an airship, help us rescue Halcyon. Oh, what's her surname? Galeforth. I wrote it down.
You guys have a good night, because it was very fun with all that music and stuff. I saw you getting into it there, Mr. Hardcastle.
Yes, a one-time only thing. I let the sins within me get the better of me last night.
How much do you remember there, Mr. Hardcastle? Whereabouts do you remember too?
I remember singing loudly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then
And then I continued singing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's happened? What did I do? Something awkward?
So there's like I said, the side of the building is part of the side of the building is missing, and what happens is like one of the townsfolk walk past and like looks over at the Reverend, just waves and goes, "Fuck you! I won't do what you tell me." In a cheery voice.
That's rude, but weirdly rings a bell.
He's gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, last night was pretty heavy. It was fun to jam with you guys.
Yes, it was, wasn't it, Mr. Hardcastle? Come to jam with us guys. Who just having a jam. Everyone's shirts staying on. Everyone
no one climbs onto the roof.
not trying to remember that their subjective reasoning for down is maybe not on someone else's house, maybe or maybe not. Somebody stole some things, and no, I don't know, Mr. Hardcastle. You tell me.
Paul.
Yes.
While they're having this conversation in the background, the spiked dwarf walking slowly round in a circle with his eyes closed imagines that up is in a different direction for his mouth than anywhere else, and launches a stream of projectile vomit that would be easily enough to fill a bucket out through the wall and then immediately up into the sky.
That's going to require a wisdom check.
Yes, lovely. 15.
Oh, just enough of what you needed to. So yes, you managed to curve. You managed to curve your vomit.
Claire looks out and sees it and goes, "We're a real band."
After literally about 15-20 seconds of non-stop just exhalation, I wipe the corners of my mouth, rejoin the group with a simple, "That's better."
Oh wait, I've just remembered what you drank. There were audible screams from the vomit.
From the actual vomit?
Yes.
Lovely.
And specifically, the vomit is dark in coloration, sort of black-brown, with flecks of white in it that look a little bit like distorted skulls as they flow out.
Can I do an Arcana check on his vomit?
Yep.
17.
17?
Plus 3, so it's a rough 20.
Okay. You are...
Nice again.
You've not encountered anything like this before, but you'd be willing to bet that something of what he drank contained souls?
Mr. Ruffle, you don't want to alarm you, but you might be living for another 5 centuries. I don't know how it works. Okay.
Neither do I. I just know it does.
Oh.
Was that a reference? Was that a lovely reference to Vic Reeves?
No.
Great. Good. I'm glad we've established that with the awkwardest pause of the entire history.
Oh no, it's frozen. It was so awkward.
I presume the air elemental is getting food. I'm going to look for spicy ketchup because I think it's a good hangover cure. So I'm going to look behind the bar and find some because Paul's frozen. So I find it really easily without having to roll.
Wow.
Very good.
Well, what else is behind there, Miss Claire?
What would you like?
I would like a nice little bit of bacon for my friend Squeaks.
Sure thing. So I'm going to go back into the kitchen with the air elemental, come out with some bacon, found it, no problems.
Job done.
Well. And it's done so to perfect. Oh my goodness. Here you go there, little squeaks. Nom nom noms.
We have got to gig again. Like, I know we also have to rescue a cloud giant and get home, but we have got to gig again after that. Maybe we could regularly do a night at the theatre.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I wasn't behaving morally, I may not be able to do that again. Everyone.
What do you mean?
I slap you on the back in a way
And
that's
then a
matey and also clearly like telling you to naff off. Aye, right, aye.
Hi,
Paul,
friends.
in the
Hi,
time
Holly.
you've been away, we've got bacon for squeaks and some spicy ketchup.
Fine. I will allow it. Really enjoying Virgin Media, guys. Bear with me a second. How is one of these computers connected to the internet and the other one isn't?
Okay.
What is happening?
And we were just
Support.
the only other thing we were doing was discussing doing a gig again when we get home, and Reverend Jack was being a killjoy.
I was just saying that I might need to purge my soul with my god because I don't think I behaved well last night.
I think it's possibly the best you have behaved. That's just
Ever.
my opinion.
Like Mr. Hardcastle, once again, you were hardcore.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
You are.
You know the score. Rhymes with a rhythm deserves an encore.
In fact, you were so hardcore, I almost wonder whether you should change your name to that.
Oh my god, you should so be Jack Hardcore.
That would
I
be
whispered to Jack, Jack, I do know your real name, but Phillin remembers so little. I want him to have this.
Thank you, Ed Fortune, for the cheer. As you're breakfasting on bacon and weirdly translucent eggs,
Are they eggs?
Oh!
yes. Briony, through the fog of memories of last night, is you recall that O'Bannon has moored his airship on the edge of Cascadia near a thing called the Dart,
I am.
which is just on the outside of town, away from the centre of the island.
Okay, guys, we got to go to the Dart. That's where Flynn, our other band member, has his airship.
Behind you, two men called John go. Oh.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean only another. Oh.
Don't worry, Miss Claire, I'll handle this. John, it's not working out. I'm sorry, but you guys are too breezy for this band. They're air people, guys. Breezy. Okay, see you later, bye.
Hang on, wait. As they walk away, I walk over to John and John.
Yeah.
And ask them if they've got a card. Either of you got anything, anything I could take with me?
Excellent.
They do. They hand you a card, which is appears to be a blank piece of paper, a blank piece of card. You turn it over, and then
Excellent.
it has a logo on the back that just reads "Summon a song," and instructions for a very simple incantation.
Ooh.
Is that
also,
an incantation anybody could pull off?
Yes.
Ooh.
It's also, I should point out. Can you make a? I didn't do this the last time with them. Could you make a perception check, please?
All of us.
Just Rufus.
18.
18. Cool. Okay, fair enough. Previously, when interacting with them, you found it difficult to gauge their scale. Like you see, if you've got, I had surgery. Richard will know this, but once I had eye surgeries, had to wear an eye patch for like 2 weeks, and I found it really difficult to tell how big objects were, or how far away they were from me. So I punched a lot of cups of tea. but it's difficult to gauge how large these people are. There is a distinct possibility that they could be larger than they appear to be. But you've got an 18, so you're fine. They're actual size.
Right. But there was a chance, that they might be bigger.
Yeah.
They might be enormous.
Yeah. Yeah.
TARDIS people.
Yeah.
Oh, and guys, because we were before we did the gig, I actually came up with a plan for when we go to Lucifer Gravy. I know it's unusual.
I'm tempted to say I put my fingers in my ears.
Plan.
Well, it's a loose plan, but I
A
figured
Lucifer plan.
Lucifer plan. From my experience with criminal organizations, at the lower end, there's a lot of turnover. People don't always know who each other are. And I nicked some of the blue suede of fabric from 4 of the guys we killed yesterday. So we can just say we're gravy boys.
I've always wanted to be a gravy boy more than anything that I've ever wanted in my life.
You've
What's
only
a
known
gravy
about
boy?
them for 3 days.
Not even that.
No,
It'd be a day and a half.
They're the people who work for Lucifer Gravy.
Okay, I don't want to be that at all.
So,
We're not
Clay,
going to be it.
Okay, so right.
We're going to pretend to be in it, so when we get there, no one immediately attacks us until we find Halcyon. And then we'll probably get attacked at some point. I can't guarantee.
Okay. I also have a plan, but it requires Mr. Hardcastle to just go and look at that building to our left for 1 second. Could you just investigate that building, Mr. Hardcastle?
Which building are you referring to?
The one that is just out of earshot, just there.
Fine.
Miss Claire, Miss Ruff, I don't know if this is real, but I seem to remember last night when Mr. Hardcastle was drunk, I may have used my fiery hand and branded him and signed it, but I don't know how to broach it with Mr. Hardcastle there. I think I may have left a handprint on his back. I don't know. Can you guys find out? Thank you, goodbye.
I don't remember this from the game.
No, I've just invented it.
Cool. Then you may well believe that is what happened, but didn't.
Okay. We will find out then.
Yes.
Okay, so we dress as David Gray.
Sorry, fake David Gray has just written, I'd forgotten about this. Whenever Phillin makes plans, it either results in him screaming into the anus of a donkey. Which I'd forgotten about.
I'd actually forgotten about that.
I did not know that one.
It was when he was trying. He thought a donkey was two people in a costume.
Oh, yeah.
Screaming into the anus of a donkey.
Yeah, I think Phillin has the best plans. I tell you what, during the adventure, Phillin will find a way to get Reverend Jack's top off and find out if you did it.
Okay, and if I don't, I can do it.
Richard, would you make a perception check, please, to see if you hear any of this discussion about your character?
Great, but I will also be doing an investigation check on that building.
Do the investigation check first.
Okay. Jesus, it's 22 on the investigation check.
All right. This building is not up to code.
And yeah, it's 11 on the perception check.
You do not hear the idiots talk about you. But what you do is you write up you improvise, you get a bit of pen and sort of improvise a form that you then fill in. You're not sure what governing body it should be paying a fine to, so you just say, the police.
Just like hammer it on the building.
Yeah.
Gently. My work here is done. A good city guard never sleeps.
And you have a brief flashback to your former supervising officer going, "You've got to sleep. You've gone mad. You've got to sleep."
He never understood.
In my head, he just rejoined us and said that. Like,
He walks back over to you guys and go, he never understood. With a sort of loosely faraway look in his eyes. Now,
Hello.
does anybody have anything they'd like to do before they leave? Bear in mind, you've destroyed the potion shop.
Yeah, I'd like to. What is Hardcore wearing?
I believe. I mean, I could just look at his character sheet. I think he's wearing scale mail. What is his armor?
isn't he wearing 3 different
chainmail
things at the moment?
I'm wearing chainmail, and then there are 2 cloaks on top of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Why 2 cloaks?
One is still costing me 5 gold a day.
Oh yes, of course. You are wearing a chainmail armor underneath a child's Jim Dark Magic costume.
That's right.
Underneath a cloak of elvenkind.
Yes.
Lovely. I'm shorter than him. I'm going to try and just pull all of his top up and look at his back.
It's chainmail, so that's going to be really difficult. Can you make a strength check?
I am so strong. You can't with chainmail. Jesus, I'm slightly offended.
You know, guys, when we pretend to be gravy boys, can we be more subtle?
It was 12.
12, yeah, all that manages to happen is you sort of rotate him.
What is happening?
Show us your back.
We just some of us fell over yesterday and we hurt our back and we wanted to see
very
your back.
Yeah.
I give Phillin the eyes of, well, don't just stand there, help me.
Wonderful. No, Matt. Rufus, I'd like you to make a deception roll, and Matt, I'd like you to make an insight check to understand the almost unpalatable. What's the word I'm looking for? Almost the absolutely indecipherable look.
14.
14. Okay, Rufus, you are satisfied that you've conveyed. Give me a hand. Matt, you read hide and seek time.
I tell you, Mr. Ruff, close your eyes, count to 10.
And with that, Phillin runs off.
Do I get any even demi glimpse of Hardcore's naked back?
No, I'm afraid you don't.
All right, I pretend that I do. So I just look at Phillin and Claire and go, handprint right on it.
I step away from the group. It's like I'm still there, but I've just moved my body a bit away because I feel a bit violated.
That's perfectly reasonable, because what is happening is weird. Meanwhile, Phillin, you dash out of the town square, down one of the little side streets through. There's a couple of small residences, and you run out into a field of. Actually, it's your Phillin. You've no idea what these things are. They're crops. It's like it's early in the cycle, so it's just little shoots of green sticking up out of ordered rows. And beyond that, you can see there is a. You're on this floating island, and you can see there's there's bits of broken up land, like a little sort of bijou archipelago on one side of it, and you can see a couple of the locals playing a game where they try and run and jump between them without falling, or without using their ability to subjectively fall in a different direction. But you can see a couple of young men and young women playing a sort of basically a sort of game. They're competing to see who can get across without falling, or get across the fastest, doing sort of parkour. Can you make a perception check for me, please, Matt?
Yeah. It's an 18 and plus. Oh, so another rough 20.
Lovely. So yeah, just beyond them, or just further to the left of them, you can see there is an airship tethered to the side of the island with a slightly hungover-looking chap with a little bandana, a bandana around his head, and long hair, just looking a little bilious and having a coffee while looking over the edge of the airship. The airship itself is it's basically it's a boat. I forget what kind of boat it is size wise. I don't know if people know boat sizes.
Is it a medium?
It's the larger end of small, so it's like large enough for a. I did look up
a large, small, so a medium.
It's about
Cool.
It's called the Akora.
It is not. It's called it's called the FAR, although there is no indication as to what those abbreviate to. The boat itself is weird. In fact, Matt, with a 20, you can quite clearly see it's two boats that have been stuck together, where it's two halves of two different boats that have been refitted. It's about 50, 60 feet from prow to stern, and looks like it might be. There's cabin space. It's got a draft, but it doesn't have sails. It doesn't have a air balloon like some of the airships you might have seen where you're from. What instead it has is, I guess, pylons. So sticking out from the port and starboard side, and above and below it is just like a sort of a mast with what might be a crystal at the top of it.
Ooh.
So there's four of those positioned around it.
Well, run to the boat, definitely.
Yep.
We get there. Who's the first person I meet?
The guy on the deck is Phillin.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Phillin. I need a great place to hide right now. No questions.
He casts invisibility on you.
I realise I'm invisible, but just be sure. I
just
crouch
turns
behind
back
the
to his
barrel.
coffee.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Phillin. Not a word if anybody comes looking for me. And yeah, I crouch behind a barrel.
Okay.
You're invisible and crouched
behind a barrel.
Yeah.
That's one of the most Phillin moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back in the town square, you three.
Are there any useful shops other than the?
There's the grocer's, which you blew the back out of. There's the pub, which you've torn one of the walls off of. There's the potion shop, which you've completely destroyed. There is, as you wander around, there is a smithy and a. Nope, that got destroyed too. There's a smithy.
Paul, with the bodies of the baddies, did I find anything else on them? Should I do? Because I only really picked up clothing. Should we investigate?
The bodies of the baddies have been cleared away yesterday after the fight.
Oh, probably should do sensible stuff first, gigging second. Always get that the wrong way around.
Yeah, very much a blueprint for, I would imagine, where we've all gone wrong with our lives.
Oh, yes.
Good for the music hasn't always been so good for the life. I am. You know that bottle that I was sucked into?
Yeah.
Is that visible to me anywhere?
No, it broke.
It broke when I re-emerged?
Yes.
Okay. Looking at the bar, is there anything, like, can I do a perception check to see if there's anything particularly worth drinking, like, amazing?
Yeah.
3 and 7. So
7. There's nothing that jumps out at you that is out of the ordinary or remarkable. There's just like a reasonable selection of spirits, but nothing that you kind of go, ooh, fancy.
Is there anyone who runs the pub in the pub?
Just Zeph at the minute.
I asked Zeph, is there any chance of another wee plate of eggs?
The air elemental billows back into the kitchen.
And I steal the 3 strongest looking bottles from behind the bar.
Make a stealth check.
Not my strong suit, stealth.
You're also making this at disadvantage if memory serves because of your armor.
Oh, thanks. 13.
13. Okay, cool. You managed to you've grabbed three random bottles of booze. One is definitely some kind of dark liquor. One's a clear liquor, and one is a opaque bottle that you just like the look of.
Listen, that's often how I work in actual off licenses, so
That's fine.
it seems about right.
Cool.
While Ruff is thieving, I'm going to turn to Claire and say, seriously though, Claire, did I do something embarrassing last night? Did something awful happen?
Nothing awful happened.
Because you guys are being really weird around me this morning.
No, you were fun. Jack, you were fun. Lots of fun. You should check your pockets though, because we aren't entirely sure what you stole. But why would you wear 2 coats if you aren't trying to steal?
I stole something.
Yeah, you went out of the pub screaming. You took your top off, and then you came back giggling, saying, I've stolen. I need to arrest me."
Briony, make a persuasion, make a deception check, and Richard make an insight check.
Well, I'm not trying to deceive him.
That's what he did, Paul.
I've got my deception plus 20.
I got 23.
Oh.
So, Rich, so Briony, was what you said true, or was it a lie?
I was intending for it to be true.
In which case, yeah, that resonates as true then, Richard.
Yep, that's another ringing bell on the campanology of nightmares that was last night.
Should we go ask the smithy if they know anything useful?
Like what I did last night?
No, I meant more for going to rescue Halcyon.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, let's do that.
We can give you a list of what you did last night. The stuff we know, the stuff we don't know. I can only imagine.
I need to get to a temple so I can pray for forgiveness ASAP.
We need to get home first.
Yeah.
Do we go into the smithy? Can we go into the smithy?
You certainly can. So, the two of you go to the smithy, in which there is a, like most smithies, it's warm inside, but doesn't smell as bad because there's still a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Still a lot of, it's area, because you're on the elemental plane of air, I guess. Inside, there is a hulking dragonborn, so a draconic humanoid with vibrant red scales, but noticeably blindfolded, who is just hammering away at metal. And there's an array of shields and armor on your right hand side, and quite well crafted metallic weapons on your left. They appear to be putting the finishing touches onto the blade of a sword, ready to sharpen it. As you went, before you say anything, they put the hammer down and turn to face you and just do a little nod, a little bow.
Hi, I'm the amazing Claire, and this is Reverend Jack. We're just wondering if you know anything about Lucifer Gravy, major weaknesses.
As soon as you mention Lucifer Gravy, this figure visibly sort of recoils.
Oh.
And Briony, make an insight check.
15 plus nothing. 15.
You know, they instinct, as you mentioned Lucifer Gravy, they instinctively reach to the blindfold, and then before they touch it, pull their hands away.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Sorry. Didn't. Can I buy something?
You can buy many things. What do you want with Gravy?
Oh, we wanted to rescue Halcyon, Galeforth. She was taken by, we believe, Lucifer Gravy yesterday. We probably should have rescued her yesterday, but we did a gig.
She was taken some weeks ago.
Oh.
We didn't know that, to be fair.
Evidently. How can I help?
Well, we're heading to the storm to go kind of get her back. So we just wondered if there's any tips or advice.
or weapons. That would be the other thing we would probably be wanting.
Mm.
Or weapons that work particularly on Lucifer Gravy.
Gravy is very powerful. I'm afraid him and his gang took the few magical weapons I had available.
Do you know what kind of... As well as...
I'm sorry, you were saying?
Do you know what kind of magic works well on him?
I do not.
Would you like a hug?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Did he take something quite personal from you?
The figure sort of turns their head to look at you. And it's hard to read their facial expressions because they're a lizard. But it just goes, my sight.
I can half relate.
You've got to give him half inspiration for that.
Also, Rich, you should definitely get his hand and put it to your
Yep.
We're like half brothers.
No.
Is there anything we can do to help you?
You'd be fools to take on Gravy.
We are fools.
If Gravy took your sight, we're going to take vengeance for you, my friend.
Why?
Well, I mean, we have ulterior motives, but I'm just saying that just to, give you some gusto, make you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, we're not very vengeful. We're more about helping people. So, we're not going to do something that's out of our way, spiteful of it, then puts us in danger. We will, however, rescue someone. If we can rescue your eyes, would that help?
That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But we could take someone else's eyes and give them to you.
It's still not useful.
Okay.
Well, we'll stay away from eyes altogether.
Yes, please.
Do you know Flynn?
Oh, Bannon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what his favourite weapon would be?
Yes, he has from my understanding, he has a rapier that was crafted for him by an old friend.
Well, he just thought I might get him a present because he's going to fly us to into a storm. So just wondered if there's anything here because all the other shops are kind of destroyed. Not saying who did that.
Right.
Just saying if there was a present, like a particular color of dagger, or
I don't mean to be rude. How would I know what color the daggers are?
Sorry, yeah, I forgot about the
If you were
maybe
if you have the money, maybe I can help out. I think I managed to hide something, but I can't give it for free.
Yeah, we actually have been paid for some of the stuff we have done.
How much money do you have?
How much money do you want? Let's
1,500 gold.
Okay, let's go with the other option then. Can I just check? Sorry, I'm really sorry, Paul.
I don't know how much money we have.
Why are none of you keeping track of this?
I care more about the rights.
Yeah,
that is true.
Which is, that's its own issue.
Let's just say we've got cool mill. Cool mill.
No, that's not.
I can't find it on D&D Beyond at all. I think we only had about 150 gold, right?
I think you had a bit more than you've got about. I think you had about 500 or 600, give or take, because you found quite a lot of money or equivalencies. Apparently, none of you were writing down your inventory.
I am, but not my gold.
Yeah, but your inventory's all like a rock that looks like a baby.
Yeah, no one trusts me with money. The pickle.
Anyway, fair enough. So, are there any mundane bits of kit you want to get from this smithy? Like, you could upgrade your armor if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll upgrade my armor.
Okay, so you're wearing chainmail at the moment.
Yeah.
So you can, if inclined. I've got to edit. You could get plate mail if you wanted. It is much heavier and will slow you down. But we'll up your armor class a tiny bit.
I found it in D&D Beyond. I look at our lizard friend and say, I have 15 in gold and it's all yours if we get that item you've been keeping.
You might be good at haggling, but I'm not selling it for 1% of its market value.
She's also, to be clear, she's not good at haggling.
Yeah, no one's ever said it. I'm really touched.
I will upgrade my armor. Will it be noisy? Will I be worse at stealth?
You're bad at stealth as it stands.
Yeah, I'm in for a penny. I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to go for plate mail then.
Great. Plate mail costs 1,500 gold pieces.
Okay, well, never mind. I'll just leave then.
But I want to say, can we know what the thing is and how useful it will be? Because water is hard to come by on this plane, right? And I have a decanter of endless water. I want to know whether it's worth swapping.
You know that we're within a mile of the water spout, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I agree with Jack. We're going to go.
Yeah, we'll just leave.
But thank you. Well, look out for your eyes.
Don't say that. Don't. Let's just...
I knew as soon as I said it. I shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, let's just go.
You know, sometimes even when we're in another plane, it's still hard to make friends, right?
Yeah, we've got a habit of doing this.
Yep. Rich, you could upgrade to splint mail.
Okay.
Which would up your armor class a tiny bit, I think. Which is narrow strips of vertical metal riveted to the backing of leather. That's one of the padded clothing.
Okay.
That's only 200 gold pieces.
How much do we have again? We've only got 200.
Yeah.
We got about a cool mil.
Ignore him.
I think I have. Oh no, ignore me. I've been keeping track of what we've got in terms of money, and we have more than that.
Yeah, maybe it's only I. Maybe I had 200.
Yeah, because if you check on currency, it tells you.
We've been divvying it up.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So I think 200 each.
As long as I'm not spending the whole kitty on that, then that's fine. Okay. I'll do that, Paul. I will upgrade to splint.
Okay. Cool. I'll just change that on your sheet for you. There appears no interest in a Part X deal, by the way. Your chainmail has seen better days.
Right.
So there's no... there's no... what's the word? There's no discount offered for trading. But that, if you refresh your character sheet now, that should have taken effect. So I believe you're... And also, you've shattered it a lot.
Yeah, it just
chatted it a lot.
You have been, skewered with a lot of stuff. Yes.
As Richard's armor class hits 20, Briony, would you make a perception check, please?
Mm-hmm.
It takes a good 10 minutes to get out of the chainmail and put the new armor on.
15.
15, you get a look at his back.
Is there a red hand?
There is not.
Rough lied.
So
I get
as Claire says rough-lied under her breath, she looks round and Ruff is dancing by himself. His own shoes.
Oh, but I can't be mad at him.
Lovely stuff. Meanwhile, Matt, the invisibility spell wears off.
Did anybody?
You have not moved,
Mr. Flynn. Psst. Mr. Flynn. Psst. Mr. Flynn. Psst. Mr. Flynn.
What?
I've turned visible again.
Right. You know what that means?
No.
Well, you've won.
I have?
Yep. And he flips a coin to you.
I never won nothing in my life.
Yep, there you go. Congratulations. Do you want to make an insight check, Matt?
Yeah. It's not great. It's all in 6.
No, I'm afraid that doesn't beat 28. You believe his bullshit.
I can't believe I've won, Mr. Flynn.
You can believe it.
I can believe it, but I never felt like this before, Mr. Flynn. You know what? I want to be a humble winner. How does one go about being a humble?
Oh, probably at range, I should think.
Gotcha. Mr. Flynn, why I've got you here, may I ask a personal question?
You can ask anything you like. Go ahead.
What is this crystal that I'm carrying?
How is that a personal question? Doesn't matter. I don't know.
Thank you for your kind help, sir.
Can we now? Can we join Phillin on the airship?
Could have done that 40 minutes ago.
Mr. Flynn, Mr. Flynn, quick! Invisible again! Invisible, quick!
Done. Make a wisdom check, please, Matt.
It is a 12.
12. He is lying, but he's rolled an 18. And he says, "Yep, done."
Thank you, Mr. Flynn.
He has not cast invisibility on you, just to be clear. He's told you that he has.
I get behind the barrel again and start giggling.
Meanwhile, the three of you approach the airship, and you can see some of the local teens running up the dart, leaping from floating rock to floating rock to floating rock. Captain Reverend Hardcore is spending a little bit. He's sort of adjusting this new armor he's got. There's a bit of clinking as he sort of works out where the joints are, and his arm movement is a little bit more limited. Sort of twisting around trying to work it, get the leather to settle in. But yeah, you can see O'Bannon we sort of stood with one leg on the edge of the boat, and again he's got a cup of coffee on the go.
Paul, can I have picked flowers en route?
No, actually, there's not really much in the way of flowers on Cascadia.
Pebbles, nice pebbles.
Yeah.
Can I have a pebble?
Yeah, a nice pebble that looks a bit like a dog, but like not like a dog. A little bit like a
dog.
Yeah, you've really got to want it. And just to be really clear, Helgwyn, Matt has been adjacent to the airship for 20 minutes, not on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you approach the airship.
Hey, Flynn.
Morning. He looks at his wrist and hasn't got a watch on. It's a fantasy game. Yep.
Just for reference, while this is happening, I'm doing Loop the Loop.
Sure.
Sorry we were late. We had breakfast and then had an unnecessary conversation with the smithy. We do that.
Right. Oh, Cobalt.
I didn't actually ask his name. We also forget to do that sometimes.
Oh, weird that you would have literally didn't need any of that information at all. Anyway, right. Shall we?
Yeah. We need Phillin though.
I come from behind the barrel.
There's actually
the barrel.
I come out of the barrel holding Squeaks by his body and his mouth, and I go, "I've not seen Phillin. I'm just a talking Squeaks. Oh, and I can fly now."
Fully visible. Yeah, just checking.
I guess Mr. Phillin must have blown off the rock. You must be ever so sad.
Claire's looked at Flynn. Does he think he's invisible? Oh no! What's happened to Phillin? How has Squeaks learnt to talk? She nudges Jack along.
I learned to talk from a magic curse that I got from kissing Ribbon Jack's button.
the Reverend
Okay,
sighs.
Flynn chuckles.
I sigh and I'll say, "I'll see you on the airship."
If only the Reverend could kiss his own bottom, he could fly too.
I've turned on my heel. I've headed into the airship.
Right. It's less into the airship and more onto.
Onto the
You walk onto the deck. There are so at the rear of the airship, the back, as I believe naval terminology would have it, there's a what's the word? Like on the back of ships, there's just like a room built on the back of the boat. I don't know what that's called. Like a cabin is the word I'm looking for. So the cabin at the back, there's two hatches on the deck, and at the fore, there are two ballistae, I should say. So yeah, on the bow, there's two massive, oversized crossbows.
That's what a ballistae is.
Yeah. But yeah, there's one deck. You could, in theory, get on top of the cabin if you're inclined, but there's no steps leading up there. Like I said, it's not a massive ship. It is an airboat, really. Why? So D20 Future Show. Why are you giving me a massive stare?
I think it's a pun on
Stern on a boat.
mate.
Sorry, I thought I'd done something evil. So Flynn welcomes you all on board. There's loads of bits of. There's just like it's a standard boat scenario. There's bits of rope on there all over the place. There is a raised edge around. It comes up to about knee height around the edge of the deck, and then there's like metal rods with rope between them at about waist height. So it's not what's the word? The top deck is so like at the front. It's a little more of a trip hazard than it is at the back. The deck sort of slopes down a bit. So yeah, that's the boat, and it is the FAR is what the boat is called. Right. So
far, so good.
I don't get it.
Sorry.
Wait, no, I'm with you. It's not FAR. It's the FAR. It's an abbreviation.
For what?
Fuck Aslan Rex.
Can I roll to see if I get that reference?
You can. You won't.
Flynn, I just want to say thanks for flying us. So I was going to get you a weapon, but apparently you already have your favorite weapon. And then I was going to get you flowers, but then there aren't any flowers here.
Mm-hmm.
So I got you a pebble that, if you squint, it kind of looks a bit like a dog.
All right. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks. And he puts that on the helm. It's behind the steering wheel.
Whilst this weirdness is happening, I put Squeaks between and go, I think you should just kiss. And then I fly him away.
Right.
Should we tell him
No. He'll just do something. He'll just do something else. Right. So, all aboard? Right.
At this point, as they're beginning to set off, having been flying around in loops in the sky, I loop back around and fly with just enough force and impale my back spikes onto the front of the boat and then hold my arms backwards. So I'm now like one of those mermaids on a pirate ship.
Fair enough. Cool. There is already a figurehead, but never mind.
Yes, that's what I mean, a figurehead. Thank you. Yeah, I'm now impaled on the figurehead, being my own figurehead.
Right.
Big hype for the Titanic references going on in the chat, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens is, Rufus, you don't see this. What happens is he sort of he shouts to Hardcore's like, points to Hardcore's like, you there, big fella, cast off.
Yeah, of course. Yep, I'll do that right away.
Untie the rope.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Sorry, I'm a policeman.
He spits.
Okay, I've untied the rope.
Okay, cool. And the boat just sort of very gently floats away from the island, at which point he says, right, hold on then, and starts talking to the steering wheel. Do any of you speak Primordial?
No.
Nope.
Okay. At which point what happens is there's a sort of roaring sound, and these pylons that end in a sort of what appears to be a crystal, a ring of flame appears around the outside of the boat, sort of connecting these pylons. It's just a circle of fire, and you feel the boat, for want of better terminology, like lurch into life. At which point he points it towards the big storm cloud you can see in the middle distance, and flies towards it at quite a clip. You've got.
I'm sick.
You are at the front of a boat travelling at a reasonable speed directly forwards, so a lot of that hits you in your face and open mouth.
Yeah, and I laugh.
Yeah. Also, everybody on deck, make dexterity saving throws, please.
15.
Cool. Rich?
2.
Briony?
11.
Richard and Briony, you are splattered with weird, creepy soul vomit.
As you're not only are you covered in it, you're covered in it while you hear me laughing.
Like sort of half laughing, half.
Yeah.
Phillin just turns sideways behind the mast.
I'm going to clean us with a decanter of water.
Fair. Which one Flynn's like, for Christ, Jesus, don't get any of that on the ring.
Why?
With the magic ring of fire that powers the ship.
Oh.
And you with a ridiculously powerful water artifact. It's just for insurance purposes. Like,
head office policy, nothing else to do.
And with the party en route to the Gravy Storm, we're going to leave them there. With a rough night stuck to the front of a ship, vomiting all over Claire and the Reverend, and Phillin convinced he's invisible. Oh, and Flynn kicking around, making sense. Tiny side note, Flynn is genuinely a character I played about 15 years ago in a Ravenloft campaign run by a really brilliant dungeon master called Tony Keogh, who has shaped a lot of how I do what I do. It was a really good game. Stick around. The next episode will be up in the next couple of days, and we've got some new videos coming out, including one I've just finished editing about methods to make NPCs come to life, especially when you had absolutely no idea the party was going to talk to them. That'll be up on the channel soon. Maybe I can put a link to it here. If I can, I will. If not, I don't know how to do that. I've seen other YouTubers do it. I don't know how. If it can be done, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching to the end. Do follow us on Twitter @QuestingTime, and we'll see you around.